Alex Polizzi is an award-winning hotelier with over 20 years' experience of working in the world's most luxurious hotels. Born into the legendary Forte hotel dynasty, she's on a crusade to transform Britain's most desperate hotels and B&Bs.
Absolutely filthy.
From outrageous owners...
It would be an incredibly sad life if there was no champagne.
...to dodgy decor...
Oh, look! A breast!
You'll be surprised how many people do like it.
Nothing escapes the hotel inspector's beady eye.
It's positively not clean. You'd be as well off if you closed the doors and never had another guest in here.
Or her quest for perfection.
I'm really struggling with this as an idea.
This week, a tale of grime and punishment as Alex returns to the first in, last out.
You do get what you pay for.
2.5 years ago, owner Jon Sweeney's unique management style pushed Alex to her limits.
Finally, I'm grossed out enough to just say no.
After a crash course in cleanliness...
What's the point of me giving you a nice room when you can't even chuck out rubbish?
It's going in the bin! Oh, you take it.
She's now returned to check if standards have improved.
They all say
But you tell me where a lot of people are bloody bullshitting.
Or if John and his B&B have fallen back into their bad old ways.
Where is his self-respect?
2.5 years ago, the first in, last out in Winchester had brought owner Jon Sweeney to the brink of financial ruin. Despite selling his rooms at a rock-bottom £49 per night, mainly to contractors in search of cut-price accommodation.
We went into serious debt. In all honesty, weeks away from bankruptcy. We're still not out the woods. It has been very big learning curve.
John was assisted by Barry Hillier, the Philo's general factotum and Winchester's answer to Tom Cruise.
My strengths are, more or less, I can do practically anything.
Oh, dear.
I think I'm sort of like being told I was a jack of all trades.
No power.
But they were struggling to keep the first in, last out afloat. And now Alex is on her way back.
Last time I was here, I was working with Jon Sweeney, who, quite frankly, didn't seem to give a monkeys.
I'm not one to turn down a challenge. Sometimes I wish I was.
How come you put staff on room 4, Barry?
Because I want a bed to sleep in.
If we're not fully booked, then Barry can have a room, but if we're fully booked, he can stay on the sofa as night watchman.
The place was blighted with bad reviews.
The reviews we've had at First In, Last Out haven't always been the best, that's for sure. Grubby, dirty. Is this the worst hotel in the country? That one was quite cutting.
Really, I was shocked last time I was here.
2.5 years ago, John was hoping that award-winning hotelier Alex Polizzi could help him reverse the Philo's fortunes.
I've got kids to support. I've got many people who rely on me in the form of staff and what have you.
We've laughed, we cried, we've made a lot of friends on the way, and for all to suddenly go would be really devastating.
To get to the bottom of the B&B's bad reputation, Alex booked in for the night.
Good morning.
Oh, Alex.
John.
How are you? Welcome to First In, Last Out. There's Barry.
Hello.
Nice to meet you.
All right, nice to meet you too.
What we're going to do is we're going to get you booked in now. For insurance purposes, we need to know who's on the building in case of an emergency and what have
Lovely.
you. So Barry's just going to get you to fill out a form.
Thank you.
If you just put the basic contact details on there, that'd be cracking.
It was assistant Barry's job to show Alex to her room, and he was keen to make a good impression on his new guest.
OK, as you know, that is your bar area. Now that you're resident with us, it also entitles you to discount on alcoholic beverages as well. OK, it isn't much, but it's a lot cheaper than what the locals get it for, and believe me, they're all jealous. Of course, this is your residence lounge. It consists of a continental breakfast, like your warm croissants, crumpets, your selections of fruits, and your sweets and your cereals as well. So do please help yourself. OK, if you'd just like to come with me, I'll show you to where your room is. There you go, Alex. This is your room. Of course, it's all fresh bedding, fresh towels as well. Complimentary teas, coffees, your bottled waters and your sweets. If there's anything I can do for you for this evening and everything, then please don't hesitate to come down to the bar and come and get me, because it's also my duty to make your stay as much as comfortable as possible. OK, is there anything else you're not really too sure of you would like me to explain?
No, I think it's all perfectly self-explanatory.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
There's your keys, and I hope you enjoy your stay.
Thank you, Barry. OK. It's a long time since I was reassured that the bedding on a bed had been changed and was clean for me. Well, of course, the light doesn't work. And honestly, the state of these taps has got to be seen to be believed. There's hairs on my bed. This is quite the most grotesque thing I've ever seen. I mean, even the fake flowers look as if they're urine stained. For decorative purposes only. Someone bought that and put it here to decorate the room.
All rooms shared 2 loos and 2 showers.
So this is one of the communal showers. Not a great start, is it? Look at that. It's like growing. It's so mouldy. It's alive. That is filthy, filthy, filthy. Ugh.
You do get what you pay for. We're half the price of any other accommodation outlets in Winchester. So you've got to think, why is that so cheap?
The hotel inspector had seen enough.
I'm afraid this is my line in the sand. And, you know, over this line I will not cross. I'm not staying here. John, this place is really dirty. I'm not saying that there's anything that has made me stop wanting to help or stop thinking about what to do.
Yep.
But I have to say to you, I personally am just not willing to stay the night here.
Alex checked out, leaving the Philo with the distinction of being the first establishment she'd refused to sleep in.
I never ever thought she wouldn't stay, in all honesty. You know, the room which we put to one side for her is, in all honesty, pretty reasonable to an average person.
With the future of the Philo fading fast, would the hotel inspector have to get her hands dirty?
What's the point of me giving you a nice room when you can't even chuck out rubbish?
It's going in the bin!
Honestly.
The first in, last out in Winchester had driven its owner, Jon Sweeney, to the brink of bankruptcy. He'd called for the help of Hotel Inspector Alex Polizzi, but less than impressed with its standards of cleanliness, she had refused to stay the night. Next morning, she returned on a mission to make the bad old days of this 17th century B&B history.
OK, the beginning of another day, and I have high hopes for today, but the first thing I need to check is, did anyone do anything about that disgusting shower? No. John, I'm quite surprised that you didn't assume that the first thing that I did this morning when I walked in here was go up and see if anyone had tackled the filthy shower.
Yeah.
I want someone to pull their finger out and make sure that the shower's cleaned. I mean, that is not that complicated to understand, really, is it?
Excuses never wash with the hotel inspector. Jon's cleaner was immediately dispatched to the shower, while Alex continued her investigation with the breakfast room.
This lovely big room with these ugly tables and chairs. I can't imagine why anyone would sit in here. It could be so much better. There's dirty plates. There's a dirty microwave.
Having scrutinised every corner of the establishment, Alex found Jon to dish the dirt.
You know, Di, I'm not easily shocked, but just the general disorder around the place, I am pretty shocked at.
OK.
And I know about the financial side of things.
That costs nothing. So I've got no defence with that,
No.
Alex. I'll let you have that one.
Alex wanted Jon to blitz the bedroom's bizarre bric-a-brac.
You've got small rooms and you cut them up with loads of shite. I think that's something that we could immediately address.
OK, and what would you put in there then?
Well, just keep them absolutely plain
What,
and
bare?
functional.
Really?
Yes.
But would that then not lose its character?
What character? What you need is as few things as possible to gather dust, and what you're offering is a functional space.
And Alex also wanted to improve the breakfast area to create a more appealing, multifunctional room that she hoped might attract a new type of customer.
You know, that breakfast room, what I think is it's just not somewhere that yodels to you to enter its portals.
But the hotel inspector's unique brand of tough love was beginning to take its toll on Jon's pride.
Trying to attract new clientele, I think, is very important. So, I need to make it nice enough in here to attract other people.
What are you going to try that I haven't tried?
Well, I'm going to try and make it a bit nicer. I don't think people want to necessarily come and sit at a bar with lots of men around it, whereas they might come and sit...
You're very anti-men, Alex.
I'm not at all anti-men.
I do appreciate what you're saying, that it's not lady-friendly, you know,
But
so
also, there's
how do we
nowhere
get
really-
over that,
OK,
Alex?
well, I'm going to get over it. I'm going to try...
OK, let's see you do that.
OK, because I want to try and make over
And
a
I
bit.
wish you every success with that one, OK?
Fine.
Alex left the first in, last out with a clear strategy for improvement.
I've decided I'm going to tackle the breakfast space. At the moment, it's a really unattractive place to sit, and I would like to not only make it a lot prettier, but also more multifunctional, so it could be used at breakfast time and in the evening. Jon's tasks, on the other hand, are to try and attract some new markets, and most of all, just to clean this place up.
She put her point across, I put my point across as well. But I think we're going to work as a good team, to be truthful with you. And, yeah, I felt a bit of chemistry.
Three weeks after her disastrous first visit, Alex returned to Winchester, expecting big improvements.
How's it been here?
Holding our own, still.
Yeah, cleaning up the place.
Yeah. I'll show you around. Show you what
Lovely.
we've done, yeah?
I'd love to see. Thank you. There's a real stench of food in here.
Unfortunately, where our core business is contractors, we've got some which have been working nights last night, and they come in at 6 o'clock in the morning and they seem to be having their tea.
I just can't understand why at 10:30 in the morning no one's thought to clear those plates.
Yep.
Assuming that someone wants to get up and have breakfast at 8 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, okay.
They then come down.
Yeah, OK. You finish.
Thank you. They come down to the curry, the old curry dishes.
That's
in
correct.
Front of them.
Yeah.
Steps.
Unfortunately, the cleaner puts this at the bottom of her list, at the end of her list, and it shouldn't be.
I
and
know,
I
but
try
this is
explaining
your
to
place. God, I'm already frustrated. I've been through the door 10 minutes and you've already started. I told the cleaner and she just won't do it.
Alex was ready to prove a point with the appliance of science, a dirt detector that measures the effectiveness of housekeeping.
If Jon is ever going to make the Philo more than a doss house, he has got to make sure that he raises the standards. That's simple. The industry rule is that anything over 1,000 is unacceptable.
OK.
1,731, I believe.
OK.
Yeah.
We failed.
and I want to force him to acknowledge that things should be done better.
But would the first in, last out be cleaner than Alex thought?
Get in there, get in there. Sorry, all apologies
695.
accepted.
Jon's sense of triumph, however, was short-lived.
Be confident, Barry, be confident. She's not right every time.
3,299.
Yeah. OK. Well, I can't see where we're going with that.
Well, I'm
Twisting a
just
bloody
saying.
sofa.
Well, I'm saying that the reason that one has leather is because one can clean it. OK, well, why don't we do one last thing? Let's try the sink in the bar, shall we? $74,000. I'm amazed.
Well, tell me, fucking staff I've had sat around here paying them, and I can't even be fucking asked to do that.
But you've got to tell them to do
I'll tell them,
things,
Alex.
and
I'll
you've
tell
got
them.
to show
I'll tell
them
them.
how to
I'll
do
tell them.
things.
How can I
this is
show
what-
someone to clean a sink?
Well, do you know how? That's why you can't show.
Why should I be showing them and telling them?
Well, because this is your place. That's your job.
It pisses me off, you know? I'm like almost frustrated with myself as I am with them, you know, but my time spending sort of keeping the company going or, you know, the business going, and it's just pathetic when I have to keep coming back to crap like that.
He's got a lot of pressure on his plate, that's not an excuse. Of course, on my side, I am also responsible for the outrageous readings because I work behind the bar as well, as well as everybody else.
I'm bored of Jon casting all responsibility onto everyone else's shoulders. Ultimately, this is his establishment. He is the one who's responsible for it. Things here need to be cleaner.
A frustrated Alex decided to take matters into her own hands and provided the sort of deep clean that an ordinary daily regime couldn't hope to achieve.
I've had to take the kind of nuclear option of sending in outside cleaners. I'm hoping that once it's been steam cleaned, they'll be able to upkeep the level of cleanliness that they're provided.
Alex's team of professional grime fighters got to work. And the cleaning wasn't the only area where she'd demanded action. She'd sent in a team to revamp the less than seductive breakfast room. And fed up with the Philo's filthy shower room, she had a completely new system installed. After an industrial amount of elbow grease, a new, sparkling, fit for inspection, first in, last out, emerged from the ashes. A couple of weeks later, and Alex was on her way back to Winchester to check on the results.
Feeling nervous. Did we get everything done to Alex's specifications or didn't we? Of course, we was up quite late last night sorting everything out, but we got there in the end. We got there. There is no I in team in this business.
First stop on Alex's tour of inspection, her nemesis. When she first arrived, the shower was run down and literally had a life of its own. Now it was a very different story.
Well,
Ta-dum!
this
What do
looks
you think?
considerably better, doesn't it?
Brilliant, isn't it?
I'm really pleased. This would have taken a lot of the sting out of me coming to stay with you. Let's go and have a look at the breakfast room.
OK.
The breakfast room went from a grimy, mismatched mess to a warm, stylish space, appropriate to the age of the building.
I think any budget traveller would not mind having breakfast
Oh,
here.
I think this is worth more than a budget, to be truthful
Yeah.
with you. You know, you've stepped us up a gear.
Yeah.
And then in the evening, it's supposed to be somewhere where people can come and have a drink.
Yeah.
The hotel inspector's front-of-house changes had given the Philo a much-needed facelift. But behind the scenes in the laundry room, Jon had been hiding a dirty secret.
Is this dirty or is this clean?
This is throwing away stuff.
God's sake.
I know, tell me about it. Tell me where I can do it. That is the laundry room.
For God's sake, here. Who are you going to blame this on? What's
And
the
the stuff-
point of me
the
giving
stuff-
you a nice room when you can't even fucking chuck out rubbish.
It's going in the bin.
Get some bin bags now. What's supposed to happen with this stuff? Is it dirty or
It is to go in the washing machine. That is why it's next to the bloody washing machine.
Oh, don't be ridiculous, John. This isn't a washing pile.
Well, what is it then? What is it then?
This is like the Kilimanjaro of dirty laundry.
We're talking about a busy B&B, Alex. Oh,
Honestly, you can't leave it lying about the floor like this. It's just disgusting. Is this knackered? Is this good? You tell me.
Yeah, no, that's knackered. A bit like me.
There may have been a mountain to climb, but there was still the kitchen to go.
Right, so, obviously everything is in the state it's in. Looking around here, there's quite a bit to do.
Don't worry, I won't let you down. This will be organised.
Darling, it's not you letting me down. It's just I so desperately don't want you to let yourself down.
I don't let myself down. I don't
darling,
let. You're investing in me, and honest, I'll pay you back. Don't worry for me, Alex.
Would Jon rise to the challenge of knocking the phyllo into shape?
Hi, Alex, how are you?
And with the phyllo's most scathing critics set to return to the scene of the grime,
It was very, very dirty. No excuse to having a used condom in the bed where we were.
would Jon have what it took to make them reverse their wretched reviews?
When you consider some of the criticism that's being levelled at him, I wonder, how does he come back from that?
It was horrid.
Yeah.
It was a nightmare.
The first in, last out in Winchester. 2.5 years ago, Hotel Inspector Alex Polizzi was battling to save the beleaguered B&B. She was keen to see just how Jon Sweeney and the phyllo were coping under the pressure.
Hi, Alex, how are you?
I've got a challenge for you. When I first came to the first in, last out, you were upset by so many negative reviews.
Yeah.
Well, try and contact some of those people. Ask them to come back and give you another go.
Okay.
And we'll see if we can't change their attitudes and rewrite their reviews to be a bit more positive. And the only warning note I have to sound to you is...
Yeah.
If it isn't immaculate, if it isn't spick and span there, I am going to tan your behind myself.
Right, OK, I'm game if you are.
That wasn't supposed to be an invitation, darling.
Right, sorry.
With Jon tasked with preparing his establishment for its most scathing critics, a bombshell was dropped.
I'm not there at the phyllo much now. I'm there on a need-to-know basis, if anything.
Barry's first love was painting and decorating, and he's had some jobs come in and he's gone off elsewhere to do those.
Barry's absence meant Jon had to be more hands-on than usual.
I'm feeling a little bit under pressure at the moment, to be truthful with you.
And Alex's arrival signalled Judgment Day.
So, we have some of the people coming back who wrote the bad reviews on
Absolutely.
the internet. Have you done enough to yank everything back into...
I like to think so. Yeah, I think we have.
With Alex, you know, it's been a bit of a love-hate relationship.
Gosh.
She's taken me to one side and basically bollocked me, to be truthful.
This is looking much, much better.
Really?
Well done.
We've kept it up. We've stayed on top of it.
Can I see the laundry room?
The lady makes sense, so she's writing what she's saying, so I've got no defence there, so, you know, I've listened to the majority of the things she said.
Well, it's not perfect, but it is a lot better.
With Alex reasonably satisfied, Jon now had to come face to face with his fiercest fault-finders. These disgruntled guests had branded the first in, last out as dismal, rated it 10 out of 10 for dirtiness, and questioned whether it might be the worst hotel in the UK.
When we last come, it was very, very dirty. No excuse to having a used condom in the bed where we were.
The reviewers which are coming back today never had the best time at the phyllo, that's for sure.
It was pretty dire.
Would never want to come back under normal circumstances.
I think you have a right to expect a certain standard when you stay anywhere, but have failed to reach the most basic of standards.
So, slightly nervous, to be honest with you.
Their damaging online reviews hit both Jon and his business hard. Unless he could change their minds, their criticisms would continue to blight the B&B.
Hi, welcome to the first in, last out.
Nice to meet you.
Hope it's a bit more pleasurable than last time you stayed.
So do I. Hello, Jon.
Oh, yeah.
Hi, Jon.
I've held his hand until now, but it's time for him to step up to the plate. This is his establishment, it's his reputation on the line. It's time for him to take the reins in his own hands, man up and get on with it.
We're going to make up slightly for not giving them the best of time, so we're going to show them round, give them a couple of drinks, bit of cheese and biscuits, and apologise.
But would Jon's promise of cheese and biscuits be enough to woo these hard-nosed critics? First to come under scrutiny was the new multifunctional breakfast room.
We've done a lot to this room. It's now become multifunctional, so we open it up of an evening as well, hence the candles and the whole sort of ambience. One of the things we've also improved on is a cooked breakfast.
But are the actual rooms going to be more... because, I mean, the bed that we had was terrible.
The bedrooms had come in for brutal criticism. Jon had worked hard to degrease and declutter them and completely redecorated room 6. But would it be enough?
OK, if you want to come in.
When you consider some of the criticism that's being levelled at him, I wonder, how does he come back from that? I mean, a condom in the bed, a used condom in the bed.
I noticed that you've got cups there, or mugs and that, but have you got means of making tea or coffee?
We have. There's a long story behind that. Yeah, there is a kettle, but it's just not in the room.
Oh, yeah, so you will have tea making
yeah, absolutely. The kettle will be there. It's just, yes.
I really do hope that Jon is giving it his best shot. And he's showing genuine concern about the terrible experience that all of these customers had.
I'm going to show you the shower room now. The shower room's one of the things which cropped up a lot in the reviews. Hopefully you'll find an improvement on the previous shower rooms. Okay.
The destiny of the B&B now rested in the hands of some of its unhappiest guests. If the new changes failed to impress, the reputation of the first in, last out would be dealt a further massive blow. One man's opinion, more than any other, mattered to Jon. Mr. Patmore questioned if the Philo was the worst hotel in the UK, a review that cut Jon to the quick.
It was horrid. Yeah. It was a nightmare.
Mm-hmm.
The cleanliness, the beds, the breakfast,
sure.
The whole experience.
And has anything today changed your mind?
Absolutely, yeah. It's a lovely little place, and it's a shame if you didn't keep it up.
Yeah.
And it went downhill again.
Absolutely.
After the amount of effort you've all put in.
I'm really glad that you think we're on the right track.
No, it'd be a pleasure to come back, honestly.
Brilliant.
Absolute pleasure.
Thanks for your time.
And the Philo's most damning detractor wasn't alone.
I think he's a very brave man. I hope he does very well. He seems to be trying very hard.
It's clean, it's tidy, but it had nothing going for it at all. This is really, really nice.
I'd be quite happy to stay there anytime.
Oh, it's just amazing. It just looks a lot cleaner. You want to stay here now. It looks warmer, cosier.
I think we would stay here again, yes, if we were in Winchester.
Yeah, I'm really, really, really pleased that we satisfied people and we've gone back, we've said sorry, and they're going to come back and stay with us.
There was just one former guest left to win over. The first in, last out had been the first ever establishment the hotel inspector had refused to spend the night in.
Oh, Mr. Sweeney, Polizzi's place. That's
You're touched, aren't it?
I really am. I'm really touched.
Today, I'm just concentrating on selling the first in, last out Winchester to Alex, so the posh bird stays over. We've got to have that lady staying over, because if we've not achieved that, then we've not achieved what we set out to do.
what a transformation. Well done. It looks clean and
Yeah,
it
that's
looks
the thing,
smart.
isn't it?
Well, I think you've done enough to
Is it a
persuade
night
me.
with the Polizzi?
It's a night with the Polizzi. At least the room has a night with the Polizzi. Okay, let's be clear here.
The 400-year-old inn went from a B&B bashed and berated for its sloppy standards to smart, clean budget accommodation, where even the most discerning traveller might rest her head.
The time has come for me to leave, but please make sure that this is just the beginning and that you keep the good work up. You've got to stay on top of the cleaners. You've started well on the rooms, but you've obviously got to continue.
Yeah.
Just make sure that you don't make a mess of this. It would be so easy just for it all to slide back again.
It won't. You worry too much. Take care.
Bye, darling.
later.
Thanks.
It's been more than 2 years since Alex's last visit. And she's keen to find out if Jon has kept up his commitment to cleanliness.
Like I say, we've now gone back to in-house laundry. We know the job's done and done well. Well, we're expecting Alex back tomorrow. There's some things which are stopped. She is correct in what she says about cleanliness costs nothing, you know, but, you know, she does need to join the real world at times. We had a guest last night and they obviously indulge in pizza, so it smells somewhat of man and pizza this morning, but it's a man thing. I don't think Alex fully understands that, you know, we do give it our best shot at all times, but, you know, we give it our best go, and that's all we can do, isn't it?
And the revamped breakfast room has not proved as versatile as Alex might expect.
It's multifunctional, as in the contractors come here for dinner, you know, they tuck into their takeaways. It was never going to be the poxy candles on the table thing.
And now an unapologetic Jon is back to taking in his old clientele.
Over on the dresser, you got your
Our price bracket fits the contractor. They're our bread and butter. So get them through the door, give them a, you know, a best night's stay we can give them. I'm not saying it's always the best.
emergency exit.
It only works just up the road, you know, so it's fine. I like it here. Well, I wouldn't be coming back if it didn't.
It's not just all posh hotels, you know. The working man needs somewhere to stay as well.
While this approach may be putting bodies in beds, it has sent the reviews back down to previous levels.
Well, I thought in order to prepare myself, I should look at the internet reviews, and things seem to have got much, much worse. Worst accommodation I have ever come across. It was smelly, dirty, cold, damp, and an all-round hellhole. I have been in prison cells that were nicer. Gosh. Quite a few of these reviews say do not think that any of the last reviews is an exaggeration. Jon is doomed, and rightly so. He clearly hasn't changed any of his ways of doing things, which makes me kind of cross, of course, and very, very sad for him. I mean, this is someone who has spent the last 3 years of his life running a dump. You know, where is his self-respect?
With public opinion plummeting, will Alex's intervention prove just too late?
This technique is called the Sweeney technique.
All say
yeah, but
it's
you
filthy.
tell me where a lot of people are bloody bullshitting.
Look at this.
I know.
Oh, my God, darling.
Two and a half years ago, Hotel Inspector Alex Polizzi revamped the tired, dated and dilapidated First In, Last Out. But recent internet travel reviews suggest her work was in vain.
Gosh. I left feeling quite positive, thinking that I'd managed to instill some kind of sense of responsibility into Jon. But reading the reviews now, I'm not sure that I did.
The imminent arrival of the hotel inspector is forcing manager Jon Sweeney into a veritable whirlwind of last-minute dust-busting, filth-filtering, dirt-dodging activity.
This technique is called the Sweeney technique.
Time is up.
It always was a pretty depressing sight, and time hasn't improved it. What can I say? This sign looks as if it's been shot by a dissatisfied customer. There's a thoroughly depressing little smoker's table. All in all, I'm not sure I'm strong enough for this.
Are Alex's worst fears about to be realised?
Hello. Hello, Don.
How are you? Right.
Darling, what have you done to this place?
In what respect?
Well, I mean...
We've gone up.
Not according to your clientele.
Depends what clientele you're talking about.
Oh, right. This looks nice, though. And it's looking quite clean. It smells nice in here. So I was prepared to come in and kick your ass, but I'm going to hold off until I see the accommodation.
OK.
Let's not waste time.
Let's not.
The hotel inspector is on a mission, starting with the breakfast room.
This looks remarkably clean and tidy.
It's you know, it's just, it's clean. OK.
Fine.
Do I get a house point?
Well, you don't get a slap.
So far, so good, but John's not out of the woods yet. Next stop, the scene of the original crime, the shower room.
Let's have a look here.
I personally think overall it's not too bad, really. You're talking 2.5 years later, but the thing is, we've made a sort of a rod for our own back here.
I know, but
so
what are you going to do? Just go, Alex Polizzi gave me this bathroom and never do anything about it again? Like, it was good? You need to replace bits, use bleach, actually wipe down the tiles
We've
properly.
used bleach. You can see we've used bleach. You imagine how much traffic's gone through there,
Well,
Alex.
then why is it like that,
I'll
love?
tell you, I'd love to see your showers at home, love.
It's much nicer than this, yes.
Despite Alex's frustration at the shower situation, will John win her round with his cleaning action in the bedroom?
Right. Let's have a look.
I know the light should be working.
If you want to keep this room making money for you, then you have to keep kind of putting some money in.
Well, we've spent a bit, but only the necessaries when it's been an emergency. That's been about it, to be honest with you.
Linen's looking a bit old and tired, but it is budget. But otherwise, it's not too bad. I'm not going to sniff it, because just don't want to push my luck.
No. But overall, not too bad, is it?
But overall, not too bad. But I must say, you know, this isn't quite the shanty town hole that I was expecting. I would love to see your laundry.
saying.
I'd love to see your laundry room.
You're not the first lady to say that.
When Alex left, the laundry was an organised, ordered and efficient space.
Right, let's have a look.
OK.
Oh, things are hanging up. That's a good
Yes,
start.
and there is some degree of order.
And it smells...
It smells nice.
All right. Look at this.
I know.
Oh, my God, darling. Is that rain coming through the roof?
Yes.
Clearly, you have a great big fucking hole in the roof.
Yes, I know. I didn't realise it was that bad, to be honest with you.
Look at this.
Yeah. Well,
You knew it was there. There's a bucket there. And look, darling, half of the roof's coming down.
Yeah.
It's clear that though there are a few holes in John's cleaning regime, the phyllo isn't in as bad a shape as the reviews would suggest. Alex decides to dig a little deeper.
OK, there's 69 reviews in this,
OK.
and I think the word filth
Yeah.
occurs in every single one of them.
That's on police sites, Alex.
No, I know, but it doesn't matter.
That's on police sites.
I know, darling,
I
but
can
the
go on
fact
there
that
and write
there
any-
is this flood of things that all say exactly the same thing, that all say
Yeah,
it's
but you
filthy.
tell me.
Why don't you at least answer them? Why don't you?
No,
have,
I'm not going
right
to get in a
reply?
game where I'm sending silly little responses to
All right,
people
darling, well, then
where
that
a
is
lot of
what-
people are bloody bullshitting.
But that is what people are going to believe your place is
I
like.
don't give a. I don't care about
I
that,
would
Alex.
care. Why
because-
aren't your hopes of this place higher? Because, you know, that should be a given.
I've fibbed on a couple of occasions when I've told you I've done stuff and I haven't. I feel a bit bad now.
It's time for Jon Sweeney to come clean.
Your place, as I see it today, doesn't seem to have any correlation to the reviews I've seen on the internet. So why do you think that is?
In all honesty, I took my eye off the ball for a period and just lost a bit of interest.
So when did you start cleaning like you had to again?
About 6 weeks ago.
So in the interval, what was happening?
Do you know, I don't know really. I didn't know what I wanted to do in myself, and at the moment, I still don't. I need to find another challenge. I don't know, I can't explain it. I don't know whether I'm bored or exhausted.
How many days a week are you working?
7.
Yeah, that takes its toll.
I just feel, you know, it's run its course, maybe.
Well, I don't blame you. You've been here a long time.
I feel battered and exhausted by it all. And
I think you need someone to come along who's got a bit of money to chuck at it.
I think there'll be someone out there because, you know, it's a lovable old rogue, isn't it?
So the reviews came from that period before you tidied it up again?
Yeah.
Jon may have waved the white flag of surrender, but Alex is philosophical about the demands of running a hotel.
You know what? I'm surprised in a way that you've stuck it out 2.5 years.
Really?
And this is too hard a job to do if your heart's not fully in it. I don't know what to say apart from that.
Yeah,
you probably need a nice long break.
I'll wait for that call from Sir Alan, I think.
Cheers to that. We can live in hope.
As Jon shuts the door on his time at the Philo, Alex is positive about the future.
I admire anyone who can admit that they've had enough. I think this is a job, this is an industry that really requires you to be able to give 100%. When you can't do it anymore, you should give up. You need to have a good face on, you need to be able to deal with every customer as if it's your first. You need to tackle the cleaning and the maintenance as if it's the first time you've ever done it. And if you can't do that, then you shouldn't be doing this job. And actually, I like him more at that moment than I ever have before, because he's man enough to say, I can't do this anymore.
When she first came, I was delusional, really. Believed my own lies at times. But, you know, I've grown up, really, more as a person, you know. I've manned up.